And let's start with some international news first, where the remains of the 12 victims who were killed in a plane crash in Costa Rica have been recovered on Sunday and been brought to San Jose, where they remain till Monday. 10 US citizens and 2 Costa Rican pilots had been killed when the Cessna 208B Grand Caravan aircraft crashed minutes after takeoff in a mountainous region, the beach town of Punta Isleta. The uncle of 2 of the victims of a plane crash in Australia spoke of his shock and horror at hearing of their deaths in a seaplane which suddenly crashed into a Sydney river on New Year's Eve. Richard Cousins, chief of the world's biggest catering firm's Compass Group, died together with his fiancée, his fiancée's daughter and his 2 sons. Christine Lagarde, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, has stated her position on what should be the aspirations for the future of our rapidly changing world. In an exclusive interview with the foreign media, she mentioned as to how she longs for a future where digitization and multilateralism will be the focus and will be a part of the aspirations of the different nations. She believes that these will be in the best interest for the nations and their fight against poverty. Now, Israel has indicted a 16-year-old Palestinian girl indicted a 16-year-old Palestinian girl on charges which includes assault for punching an Israeli soldier in the face 2 weeks ago, an incident which had made her into a hero for the Palestinians and has been seen as nothing short of humiliating by right-wing groups. Israel has held the 16-year-old teenager, Ahed Tamimi, since arresting her 3 days after she was filmed slapping a soldier at the entrance to her family home in the village of Nabi Saleh in the occupied West Bank. Now, the confrontation took place after what Israel has said was a stone-throwing assault on its troops. Iran continues to be on the edge with protests raging for the 5th straight day. Protesters have shot and killed a policeman during demonstrations. It's the first reported fatality amongst the security forces who've been struggling to contain the unrest, challenging the clerical leadership. The killing of the police officer has happened when a demonstrator opened fire with a hunting rifle in the central city of Najafabad, and 3 policemen have been wounded in this incident. It was not clear as to when the incident actually did take place. More than 100 illegal migrants from Gambia were sent home from a Libyan Misrata airport as a part of the International Organization for Migration's voluntary return program. The program puts illegal migrants who ended up in Libya on a one-way flight back to their home countries to ease the severe overcrowding in the country's detention centers. Israeli archaeologists have unveiled a 2,700-year-old clay seal impression which they said belongs to a biblical governor of Jerusalem. The artifact, inscribed in an ancient Hebrew script as belonging to the governor of the city, was likely attached to a shipment or sent as a souvenir on behalf of the governor, the most prominent local position which is held in Jerusalem at the time. Many Americans greeted the first day of New Year by embracing the bitter Arctic cold rather than bunkering indoors to escape the record low temperatures. In Boston, cold weather enthusiasts ran into the frigid harbor in the city's annual polar plunge. Now, in Harrisburg in Pennsylvania, organizers said that they had to use chainsaws to break through the ice on what was one of the coldest plunges on record for the city. The thousands of performers from around the world took part in London's annual New Year's Day parade in front of huge crowds of people lining the streets of Britain's capital city. The marching bands and cheerleaders, many from the United States, performed songs and choreographies as crowds of people waved British flags and also cheered them on. After celebrating the start of 2018, thousands of people gathered in central Berlin to welcome the new year on a healthy note by taking part in the annual New Year's Day run. The 47th edition of the event began at the landmark Brandenburg Gate and continued down the famous boulevard Unter den Linden to the city's cathedral and also back again. The route was an easy 6 kilometers, welcoming families with children to the event. Romans braved a cold and also a damp New Year's Day to watch a hardy group of men throw themselves off a bridge in Rome into the freezing waters of the Tiber River. The annual Tiber dive has been celebrated on the first day of the new year since 1946. This year, 4 divers took the plunge, some with more style than the others, plummeting off the 30-meter bridge in the city of the Italian capital. Hong Kong kicked off the year 2018 with its annual demonstration that saw thousands of citizens march through the city demanding a stop to any further erosion of its autonomy. Holding various banners that read "Protect Hong Kong" and "Defend One Country, Two Systems," protesters expressed worry and also a sense of hopelessness over the city's future. The organizers said that around 10,000 people participated in the protest. The huskies in a Russian zoo have become more popular as the year 2018 is the year of the dog in the Chinese lunar calendar, and the dogs are believed to bring good luck and prosperity in the new year. But during the winter holidays, huskies have turned into an object of adoration for both children and adults in the zoo. The dogs sled children while their friends, the Samoyeds, pose for photo sessions. The 4-year-old giant panda cubs are celebrating their first New Year's Day at the Shenyang Forest Zoological Garden in northeast China's Liaoning province. The 4 sizable balls of black and white fur settled down into the panda house last September. Together, they occupy a 2,000 square meter apartment-like area which includes a courtyard, a living room and also a bedroom. Well, let's move on to some stories from India, where today the Delhi High Court will continue hearing the plea seeking the criminalization of marital rape. Now, several activists have filed a public interest litigation asking for marital rape to be criminalized. Now, there is no law to protect married women against marital rape in India, and the Union State Minister Haribhai Chaudhary has said that marital rape cannot be made into a criminal offence in India because of high illiteracy rate, poverty, extreme religious beliefs, etc. Mathura jail. 3 prisoners managed to escape from the high-security Mathura jail in Uttar Pradesh early Monday morning. 4 jail officials have now been suspended for the lapse in the security. Enforcements have also been brought to the jail after this development. The inmates managed to escape from the youth barracks. One of the inmates was caught fleeing and the police authorities are interrogating him to find out the location of the other 3 inmates. The army soldiers near the Indo-Pakistan border rang in the new year with a mini celebration of their own, even after tensions are high along the border, after 5 CRPF Jawans have been killed in the early hours of 31st December in a terror attack. Moradabadi citizens participated in a candlelight march to mourn the death of the 5 CRPF soldiers who lost their lives in a suicide terror attack. Jaish-e-Mohammed has claimed responsibility for the attack. 3 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists entered the Pulwama CRPF camp on early Sunday morning, attacking the soldiers on duty. The gunfight started at about 2 a.m. and continued till late afternoon. One day after announcing his decision to enter into politics, actor Rajinikanth has launched a website and is asking supporters to enroll themselves on the website. The actor has also launched his party symbol, which is a yogic mudra. Rajinikanth has said on Sunday that he will launch a party before the next state assembly polls shortly after making his announcement. The BJP has also spoken about getting the actor on its side as an ally for the 2019 polls. The recruitment process has started at a research institute in Jaipur, which will go back to the Hindu texts, the Vedas, to look for a cure for cancer. The research institute has been built at the cost of about 24 crore rupees and was built after the idea was first introduced in the year 2005, but it was brought into action in 2014 under the tenure of the incumbent Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Vasundhara Raje. According to officials, the research centre will be operationalised by this year.